Missing child. James Brogan sat in his cramped office above the shuttered hardware store on 7th, nursing a lukewarm coffee and staring at the same water stain on the ceiling he'd been meaning to fix for 3 years. The radiator clanked like it was arguing with itself. Rain hammered the window. Another Tuesday. The knock was soft but insistent. He opened the door to a woman in her late 30s, eyes red-rimmed, coat soaked. She clutched a damp photograph like it was a life raft. "Mr. Brogan, I'm Ellen Hargrove, my son Toby. He's been gone since yesterday afternoon." Brogan ushered her in, cleared a stack of unfiled reports off the client chair, and listened. Toby was 9, bright, quiet, obsessed with building model rockets. Yesterday he'd left school at the normal time but never made it to his after-school chess club 3 blocks away. No one saw him on the route. Phone was off. Backpack found in an alley behind the old textile mill. The police were calling it a runaway. Ellen didn't buy it. Toby had been excited about a rocket launch he and his best friend were planning for Saturday. No note, no warning signs, no history of trouble. Brogan took the case. His rate was modest, but he charged extra when kids were involved. Some things you don't cheap out on. He started where the boy had vanished. The alley smelled of piss and wet cardboard. A couple of warehouse workers remembered seeing a kid with a blue backpack around 3:40, but nothing suspicious. Brogan walked the route twice, then hit the surrounding blocks. Pawn shops, bodegas, the comic book store Toby liked. Nothing. By evening he was at the Hargrove house, a modest 2-story in a fatting neighborhood. Ellen showed him Toby's room, neat, posters of space shuttles and constellations on the walls, a half-built Saturn V on the desk. Brogan noticed a small gap in the model rocket collection. One was missing. He asked about the father. Divorced 2 years, lived across town, paid support on time but wasn't very involved. Brogan paid him a visit anyway. The man was half-drunk and genuinely shaken. No, he hadn't seen Toby. No, he didn't have him. Brogan believed him. Night 2. Brogan was driving the industrial district near the mill when his headlights caught something reflective in a chain-link fence gap. He stopped. A small, silver rocket fin. The kind that came with the mid-range kits Toby collected. He pushed through the fence into an abandoned lot behind a derelict plastics factory. Old machinery, weeds, puddles. In the beam of his flashlight he found more pieces, scattered like breadcrumbs. Then the backpack empty except for a crumpled school worksheet. His stomach tightened. He followed the trail to a rusted side door on the factory. Inside, the air was thick with dust and chemical rot. He moved carefully, gun holstered but ready. A faint glow came from deeper in camping lantern. Toby sat on a dirty blanket next to the lantern, hugging his knees. Alive. Scared. A skinny man in a hoodie sat a few feet away, talking quietly to the boy about stars and rockets. The man looked up as Brogan's flashlight hit him. Mid-40s, tired eyes, no obvious weapon. "Don't," the man said softly. "I'm not hurting him." Brogan kept his voice level. "Then why'd you take him, friend?" The man, Raymond, he said his name was, had worked at the plastics factory 20 years ago. Laid off when it closed. Lost his own son to cancer around the same time. He'd seen Toby walking home, backpack covered in rocket patches, and something in him had snapped. He just wanted to talk to the kid about space for a while. Show him the old break room where he used to eat lunch and look at the stars through the skylight on clear nights. He'd meant to bring him back after an hour. Then he got scared and kept putting it off. Toby confirmed the story through sniffles. Raymond hadn't touched him, hadn't threatened him, just talked rockets and told sad stories about his own boy. Brogan cuffed Raymond anyway and called it in. Ellen arrived 20 minutes later with half the precinct. The reunion was the kind that makes even jaded cops look away. Toby hugged his mom so hard Brogan thought something might break. Later at the station, Raymond sat quietly in interrogation. Brogan brought him a coffee. "You know they're going to throw the book at you," Brogan said. Raymond nodded. I know, I just for a couple hours he listened like my kid used to. Stupid, I'm sorry. Brogan didn't have anything comforting to say. Some mistakes you don't come back from. 2 weeks later, Ellen Hargrove stopped by Brogan's office with Toby and a check for the full amount plus a generous bonus. Toby handed Brogan a small, carefully assembled model rocket. For helping me, the boy said. Brogan took it, throat a little tight. You keep building them, kid, aim high. After they left, Brogan set the rocket on the corner of his desk, right under the water stain. The radiator clanked again. Rain kept falling. He lit a cigarette, opened the window a crack, and watched the city lights smear across the wet glass. Another case closed, another scar on the world that didn't quite heal right. But the kid was home. That was enough for tonight.